darlings. I am Nicole Mampuya. Don't worry about knowing my surname or let's again pronouncing them. You can just call me Nicole. I am Nicole. Welcome to this channel. Welcome to this video. Yes, I would like to review my first 10 books. All right, I am a author of over 10 books, but in this video I would like to review the first 10 books that I've written. And then yes, all my books are available on Amazon. Should you be interested in watching, please feel free to check me out on Amazon or grab a book. Also visit my website if you need a training on how to write a book. Okay, it's going to be one-on-one training where we're going to go through everything such as what to write, how to write, time management, and what to not write, how to get your manuscript completed, how to get published, you know, the book launch. And at the end of the training, I would require to see what you've done so far, the manuscript you have written so far, and then I'll go over them. If your book or your manuscript are not completed yet, it's not an issue. You will still do that. And whenever they are ready, you are welcome, or you qualify to send me your manuscript so I can go over them and give you a feedback of what I think about your writing or your manuscript or your book, and that will help with the improvements. Definitely that helps. So in this video we're going to review the first 10 books that I've written. Very excited. Yes, all the 10 books were written in the period of 7 years when I was a full-time student at CPUT and also a full-time worker. I was also working. So in my previous video entitled how I wrote my 10 books, my first 10 books in 7 years while being a full-time student and a worker, I explained exactly how I was able to achieve those things and how you can also achieve them. Remember or bear in mind that if you don't know, I've written all my books in English. English is my third language. Yes, I had to learn a third language and write books in that language and attempt their publication because I was born and raised in a French-speaking country and it was very difficult to get a book out. What I only experienced in the country where I was born and raised was the publication of the article that I wrote when I was 15. Yeah, got published when I was 16, like I was still a teenager, you know. That time I remember it was marked by reading. I did a lot of reading as a teenager. Like I was a very routine girl, you know. You would know where Nicole is if she's not at home. If she's not in church, she must be in the library. I'll go to the library the whole day. I'll even take 21 books home, not knowing like when I will return them, but I will still take them. That's how I remember my teenage life. I remember them reading books. I'll go in the bus, I'm just reading a book. You know, sometimes I forgot even to get off because the book is so interesting that I just want to live in it. But as I grew up, you know, I started with CPUT. I was 22, I guess. My priority had changed. I had to start reading more of textbooks, you know, medical related books, because yeah, I was doing medical studies. Yes, by the way, we have a bachelor degree in medical 11 science. Yes, so yeah, priority changed, but you know, still if you're a book lover, so nobody can take that from you. So my first book was written in 2023, 2012, and I started not so much, but 2013, that's when, you know, I did put some work because I was in my first year, you know, doing medical science, and it was published in 2014. My first book was released. It was quite a nice experience. Most of my lectures bought some of my lectures, or most bought my books. I went to SAFM for interview, those who are in Cape Town. I was on SABC as well. I was on CPT website. People are like phoning me on WhatsApp. I saw you on the website. Congratulations, you are a first year student. It was great. Yeah. However, it didn't stop me, you know, it didn't stop me. I had to continue with the passion, the dream. The dream was to write as many books as possible. Not that I intended to, but I just take it like a ongoing thing. So the first book that was published in 2014 is titled as Black Shades of Tears and Hope. That's my first love, my first baby that I gave birth to as the author in 2014. That book talks about immigration. It's basically talks about African people, many other African people, why they're leaving their countries, how they're traveling, and their experiences in South Africa. So when I got to South Africa in 2012, I came across so many Africans from all over the continent. I thought maybe we will be few of us, but there were quite a number. So it did attract my attention. I wanted to know why are there many people, quite a number of African people living in South Africa, like how they travel, because my experience was very different. I fly. Whenever I tell people how many flights, like I took 3 flights to get here, they were like, oh, they think I'm bougie. I'm like, no, I'm an ordinary person. So most of them like, no, I didn't fly. I did this. I ran from war, persecution. I'm a refugee. I'm asylum seeker. I'm whatever. So I was intrigued. I was really intrigued. I wanted to know how people are traveling, why they're leaving their home country, and what are their current experiences in South Africa. So I started journalism work. I now give credit to people who said to me, Nicole, you will be a great journalist. You should do journalism, when I was in high school. I was like, I know I will, because of the way I used to perform in high school. When it comes to presentation, I will nail every single presentation that comes on my way. I don't need to prepare for it. I just need to know what to do. And then, yeah. But I always prepare. One thing about me, I have done MC work quite a number of times. But today, if I have to MC your event for you, or your wedding, or your graduation, anything that I've been hired as an MC, I'm going to practice as if it's my first MC job. So I think that's what life is about. The more you practice, the better you become in every single field, in every single thing you do. So I believe practice makes perfect, and that's just one of my principles in life. Keep practicing. All right, so I started interviewing African from Rwanda, from Malawi, from Angola, from Zimbabwe, from Congo, and from across the continent. And I did collect the data that I needed, sort them out, assess their credibility based on my knowledge and experience, to validate information obtained as being accurate and worth to be shared. More again, published in a book. So then I wrote them down, I compiled them, and I had them published. So the book was out. Yeah, so it is quite an interesting book. It's actually available on Amazon if you want to know. People expand their lives, their experiences, current experiences in South Africa. What are the expectations for future? What the expectation they had, even coming to leaving their home country, coming to South Africa. Everything is being shared. And refugees and asylum seekers also shared their petition to United Nations High Commission of Refugees, also to South African government as to what they would like to see in terms of improvements for their conditions of living, mainly when it comes to being documented. Home Affairs providing visas for foreign nationals, especially African nationals. That's very a problem, that's an issue. And also providing status for refugees, allowing, you know, these interviews, so refugees that qualify gets to get a status, to also alleviate the appeal, the backload, you know, when it comes to appeals with refugees that currently South Africa government is actually facing. So that was the book all about. And the second book is my love, called The Appreciation. Yes, that book teaches us on how to appreciate life even when we are going through tough situation. Yes, it is easy or okay or smooth. It goes smooth to appreciate life when you are well, when you are fine, when you are happy, when everything is going well. But there are time of life when nothing is going well. You are struggling, you have challenges, you have problems. But how do you go to appreciate life when you're going through that situation? So the appreciation will show you how to appreciate life when you lose a loved one, when you lose your job, when you are depressed, when you are feeling suicidal, when you are hopeless, when you are sick, when the doctor is telling you have a year and a half or 6 months to die because you have stage 4 cancer, when you lost your sponsor. There's so many problems and challenges that people are going through. That's the appreciation has been provided to help you and I to get through those tough moments, because we don't want to hear about suicide. You know, we believe if you take the therapy as described onto the appreciation, you'll be able to break through with suicide. So that's very important. And yeah, so the first book is about underage. It's the appreciation for underage. So I just thought to address the issue, the behavior that some teenagers are actually displaying that may not be okay in terms of appreciation. I just saw that people tend to take things for granted. Always remember that what you're taking for granted is I had to change my battery, it was flashing. So always bear in mind that what you are taking for granted today or seeing as being natural is someone else's dream, is someone else's prayer, is someone else's goal. So never ever take a thing for granted. Teenagers tend to take a lot of things for granted. They take their parents for granted. They take the fact that they don't pay rent, their food on the table. They take a lot of things for granted. You need to go live in a war zone. You see how children are losing their parents as they become orphan. They have no place to stay, they have no food to eat, they have absolutely no one to care for them. For you to understand as a teenager, as a child, how privileged you are to have a parent. I'm not even talking about two, I'm talking about one, to have at least a mom or a dad who cares about where you should sleep, what you should do, eat, or even that you should go to school. It is a privilege to have someone to pay your rent. It is a privilege to have someone to feed you, to clothe you. It is a privilege to be taken care of. Those are little things. Those are things that people tend to take for granted. That's the appreciation. As well as the appreciation for underage is trying to address in order to stimulate a sense of appreciation that is actually in loss or has been missing in so many people. All right. Let's move to my third book. My third book is called The Appreciation Through the Scripture. Yes. There's been slight changes in my faith for the past few years because of everything that I went through, that you will get a chance to know as soon as I start releasing books about my life story. We have about 10 already about my life stories, except the 10 that are already out there that doesn't involve my life story, just involve real life issues and how to solve them for most of them. So but yes, so then I was driven back into my faith. I wanted to explore the Bible. So I went through the Bible looking at cases where people failed to appreciate and what were the consequences. So the appreciation within the scripture or through the scriptures demonstrates a failure of appreciation for believers, for Christians or religious people, and the consequences that comes with it. We spoke about cases where Moses failed, for instance, to appreciate God's instructions. He failed to appreciate the privilege that he was talking to God, to the point where God told him to speak to the rock, because he was frustrated because of the pressure that he was getting from children of Israel. He had to strike the rock and he was prohibited from entering the promised land. So if I remember correctly, it's like that things went down. It's like that it was like that. I hope I remember correctly. Otherwise I have to go double check. Anyway, so I actually read the entire book. I started from the entire Bible. I went from Genesis to Revelation. Imagine every single page I had to read. I never thought when I was growing up that I would ever read a book. I will ever read the Bible start to finish. But I had to read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. I read everything because I was looking for something. It's not just there about reading like ABC. I had to study the cases. I had to study to understand that this was a failure of appreciation. That's the consequences. Then I pick it up. I spoke about it in the book. Yeah, that's how basically the book number 4 was compiled. It's such an interesting book. It just brings awareness, like if you fail to appreciate, you must expect consequences, and consequences of lack of appreciation are usually negative. You will lose the things that you're taking for granted today because you think they're nothing, they don't mean anything. No, they're not nothing. They mean a lot, and they are worth your appreciation. They are. Check out that book, my darling. You're gonna learn a lot. I love it. Moving to my book number 5, called Naked Come, Naked Return. That girl is the deal. The book is the deal. The book says, naked you come to this earth, naked you will return. I just feel like giving that book a review right now, but chill, we're gonna have book reviews as well. I'm simply explaining in that book that the way you can, it's the way you're gonna leave this planet. So there's no need for you to be stingy to yourself. I always tell my friend, all my friends knows me, I speak about these things. Don't be stingy to yourself, because if you die today, they will take all your money that you are working hard for and saving sometimes for no reasons. But hear me out. I'm someone who supports investment, I support budgeting, I support saving, but I don't support some people who trying to be stingy to themselves. The problem is what? If you are stingy to yourself, how will you be generous to me? Because you can't even treat yourself nice. How will you treat me nice? So it's very concerning to see that. I always tell my friends, if you die today, they will take your house, your car, your clothes, your wallet, everything, the saving, the money you leave in your account. They will take your investment. Forget about it, because you're gone. On top of that, they will buy you a cheap coffin for your funeral if you don't have a funeral cover. And guess what? You wouldn't be there to complain. Why are you cashing out 50,000 US dollars into my account, or 20,000 pounds, or 10,000 euros, and you buying me 100 US dollar coffin, or you buying me a 10,000 rand coffin when you got over 100,000 rand in my account? You wouldn't be there. You're gone. You're dead. It's over. So when you are leaving, be generous to yourself. Be generous to others who are not of your family. Extend your generosity, because it's pointless to have all the money, all the wealth that you have, and die just leaving them like that. And the funny thing, they pass it on to children, to grandchildren, who tend to not appreciate them because they don't know the value of them. They tend to waste them. They will go waste money with their boyfriends, they waste money with their girlfriend, because they didn't work for it. They don't know how hard it is to make money. They don't know how painful it is to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, hit the road, go work, make a living in winter when it's very cold. They don't know that. They got the easy money, they spend it easily. So when you are alive, be generous to yourself, be generous to the less fortunate. Extend your generosity. That's like my life message. But so yes, naked you come, naked you return. Just like you came naked in this world, you're not going to return with your car, your house, your money. So it's pointless for you to hate people, for you to be stingy, for you to be selfish, for you to murder, for you to kill, to steal other people's husband's wife, other people's boyfriend. It's pointless for you to even scam people, whether it's online or offline. It's pointless for you to do evil, because whatever you are doing evil for, you will never ever be buried with. You will be buried without. So it's very pointless. You understand? So live right, do good, and make sure that you leave this world with clean hands as you can. With clean hands. That's the message. More important, in this book, I talked about what happened once we die. What happens once we die? Where does your soul go? What will happen to your soul if you are saved, if you are not saved? I talked about the last day, you know, for those who are believers, for those who are Christian and have received Jesus as their personal Lord and Savior, have eternal life, because you cannot make it to heaven unless you receive Him. There's no other way. Him, and then you made it. I have talked exactly when the last day comes, the trumpets will sound. What will exactly happen on the last day? They talked about the judgment day, how the devil will be bound for another 1,000 years. What will happen? All those, you know, things that you see on Revelation. The last book of the Bible? Yes, I had to break it down. Also, I use, because when I was writing that book, I was very intimate, you know, with God. Like, I would see things, you know, we would chat like I'm talking to you. That's how close, you know, I used to be. Now I'm just a little bit mad at Him. But back then, I really cared about my intimacy with Him. So it will give me some extra explanation that is coming not from the Bible, not from Revelation, from a preaching or whatever. It's coming directly from Him. Like, this is exactly what will happen. And also, back in years when I was depressed, I was asking Him if He could take my life because I wanted to die. I think 2014 or 15. It started like the journey, you know, of depression, me wanting to die. Like, every day before I go to bed, I will pray that I don't wake up the following day. So one day I was led to a shade, you know, it's like a graveyard thing. I think that there was an angel that was given to me. Then we walked the graveyard the whole night. That angel told me, Nicole, there's no spot place for you here. You have to go back. So I want to talk about, I also talked about like when you die, what happened to your soul. When you die before your time or after your time, what happened to your soul. So it's a little bit of combination of the Bible, my personal experience, as well as things, you know, that God used to tell me when I was compiling those two Christian books, which is Appreciation Through the Scriptures, as well as Naked Come, Naked Return. Ah, love them. Moving to book number 6. Number 6 is a book that I wrote for Congo. Yes, I was born in the Democratic Republic of Congo. I was born in the Central Africa. Love it, love it, love it. In a French-speaking country. I'm a French girly. That's how we are. So that book is dedicated to Congo. I'm trying to address a lot of issues happening in Congo, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. I'm trying to address a lot of people. Oh, Congolese people, there's issues in that country. But there are also good things in Congo, such as this person talking to you. It's a land that is blessed, you know, it's a blessed soil and everything. So I had to address all those issues. So I talked about Congo. And yeah, the 7th book, I talked about Africa. So I addressed a lot of major issues that is leading to destruction, pain and suffering, famine, poverty, you know, in Africa, and how we were taught in the past by our colonizers to hate one another, to fight with one another, not to support one another. But I'm trying to bring up this new version of us Africans to start buying Africa, consume Africa, and sell Africa. That's like the concept that I stand for in the book called my 7th book, My Love for Africa. My 6th book is called My Love for Congo. I also introduced the same concept that Congolese people need to start to buy Congo, sell Congo, and consume Congo. Congolese people like designer. Oh, they love Louis Vuitton, they love Versace, they love those all the designer. They like designer. If you invite Congolese people into your party, I promise you one thing, they will transform your party to a fashion show. You invite Congolese people in your party, expect a fashion show. This is how it goes down as a fashion show. They will come with brands, shoes brand, bags brand. Those are the things that is not helping Congo's economy. When will Congolese people start buying Congo, consuming Congo, and selling Congo in order to strengthen the economy of the country? So is Africa. When will African people start buying Africa, consume Africa, sell Africa in order to strengthen the economy of the continent? Louis Vuitton is not an African. That dude, no, he's not. You know, Versace It's not an African, was not an African man. But we are buying. I'm not against designer. I love designer and I will buy designer. But I'm trying to say we need to moderate everything. We need to invest in the economy of Africa. We need to invest in Africa. We need to buy African, sell Africa, consume Africa. This is how Jewish people are so powerful and freaking rich. They buy Jewish, they sell Jewish, they consume Jewish. This is the vision I also share in those two books. Alright, moving to book number 8. Oh, it's called Pen is the Best Medicine Therapy Solution. Ha, I love it. This book is telling you, my darling, the reason you are still putting up with your abusive partner is because you have not suffered enough. When you will suffer enough, no one will be there to give you an advice. You will tell yourself enough is enough. You will stand up for yourself and leave. People don't make certain decisions because the pen hasn't yet reached its limit. They haven't yet suffered enough. It's a little bit of sarcasm that is also shared in the book. I'm just saying it's like you haven't suffered enough. That's why you are still putting up with the abuse, the violence, the lies, the ill treatment of whoever is ill treating you. You are still putting up with wrongdoings because your pain limit is still bearable. My darling, we're waiting for it to become unbearable, for you to say enough. Have you ever had a friend who is in an abusive relationship? You will sit with her. You advise her, don't go back to that boyfriend. He's cheating on you. He will give you HIV, STD. He doesn't love you, he's hurting you. You speak for hours. The same night, she doesn't just go back to him. She sleeps with him. For me, it's not just a waste of my time, but I feel like you are insulting my memories because I'm using my brain to elaborate positive advice for you, deliver that for you, for your freedom, well-being, but you take it for granted. You don't appreciate me. Let's again our relationship. So what I did is, you take silence, you watch them. What are you watching? For the pen to reach the limits. When they will reach the limits, oh my darling, I promise you, she will stand up and say enough is enough. She will walk out of that relationship without you giving a single advice. So that's basically what the book is about. The pain, we're explaining all the painful situation, and how much, you are still dwelling in them because you haven't suffered enough. Many people have not yet suffered enough. They have not yet reached the pain limits. That's why they're still putting up with whatever putting up. And some of us who, we're trying to sympathize with them, we are compassionate, trying to guide them and lead them. They take us for granted. So the new faces, you haven't suffered enough, my darling. I'm waiting for pain to reach its limit. You're gonna find me. I break free from him, from her. I'm free. I'll be like, well done, my darling. Well done. You made the right choice. This book is very interesting. I just also differentiate between because it's administration of pain could be healthy and unhealthy. I'm trying to give instance when administration of pain is unhealthy and when it's healthy, and how to solve them. If you rape someone, you have administrated pain into that lady's life, and that's unhealthy. But if a child, your son, is insulting you, stupid, calling you stupid mom, stupid dad, you punish that child. You are still administrating pain, but that's a healthy pain for him to learn not to insult you as a parent. So I also talked about administration of pain, when to administrate pain and when not to. What are the healthy pain that should be administrated to bring positive change, to bring therapy, to bring freedom? What also are the unhealthy pain that should be stopped because they are destroying people? So I share about all of this, and I think you deserve to learn about that and practice them. Pain is definitely, it's a medicine. For me, there's no justice without pain. You can't come and murder my father and walk away. If you murder my dad, I would require pain to be administered to you. Only the administration of pain onto you will bring justice. because you can't murder someone's parents, you can't rape someone, you can't scam someone, you can't hurt someone and walk free. No, pain should be administered to you, because justice needs to be served, and justice can only be served with the administration of pain. And that administration of pain to translate to justice is actually the healthy one, as long as it's done in a moderate way. Yes, I also spoke about instances where people wrongly administrate pain, where the judgment didn't fit the crime. Your partner didn't sleep with another woman, he was just talking to that woman, but you decide to end the relationship. I'm just like, no, this is a harsh punishment and didn't fit the crime. If he had slept with another woman, I would understand why you ended the relationship. But he was chatting, then you tell me, Nicole, that is mentally cheating. He was emotionally cheating or mentally. Even though he was emotionally, mentally cheating, I still don't think like the judgment fit the crime. The judgment has to fit the crime. The administration of pain has to fit the crime. You can't overdo it, just like you can't underdo it. So the book explains it all. Please grab the book and you're gonna love it. All right. Moving to book 9. Book 9 is called The Wronged. No, let me tell you about book 10. Then I'm gonna close with book 9. All right. Book 10 is basically part 2 of Black Shade of Tears and a Half, which is my book number 1 that I talked about. However, book 10 is exposing xenophobic countries that we have in Africa. We have 4 men. 4. 1, 2, 3. We have four countries in Africa that they have been on the news, you know, demonstrating a xenophobic attack onto African nationals living in their countries. So I spoke about xenophobia in those 4 African countries that are bringing shame in Africa when it comes to xenophobia. Why don't you like yourself? When you look yourself in the mirror, let me look myself through the lens. Why don't you like what you see? If you murder your fellow brother because he's getting your job, if you burn them to life, if you hurt them, if you don't want them, then it means you are xenophobic. I'm not even talking about xenophobic, because xenophobic means the dislike of foreigners. I'm talking about Afrophobia. You dislike black people. You know what? They don't have money. They don't have success. They are black. They are dark. You want people who are light, who have money, to invest in your economy. If people are not light, if they don't have money, you hate them because you hate yourself. That's what your colonizer taught you during colonization, to hate one another, to take weapons and murder one another, because you African people have to be behind every single continent in this world. But this has to change. This has to change. We talked about everything related to Afrophobia in Africa. Solutions. I try even to rebuke foreign nationals living in South Africa. Like, there are things you can't do. This is people's country. Because there's always accusation. Let's say they're accusing foreign nationals in South Africa stealing their women's. I yell in that book, you cannot steal women's in South Africa. This is not your country. I'm not a South African, by the way, but I'm always against what is wrong. This is not your country. If you want to steal women, go back to your country. Go back to Somalia, for instance. Go steal women over there. Do not come in people's country and steal the women. It's like, that's very disrespectful. So everybody were addressed. You know, I also explain on effort that African people made to help South Africa break from apartheid. Yes, help from other African countries was, you know, sought and obtained during apartheid. South Africa didn't just reach its freedom on its own. No, help was sought and obtained during apartheid. I also brought that to life, because when they see foreign national, African national, I always think that they're useless. Am I useless in South Africa? Look at this. Look at all of that. How can all of that be useless? No, we're not useless. So every single thing was brought into light. It's a very interesting book, part 2 of Black Shades and Tears and Hope. Yes, it's also available on Amazon. Help yourself and enjoy it. Let's talk about my last book, which is book number 9, because I first talked about 10 because I want to close off on a positive note. Let's talk about book number 9. Okay, love, I had to change my battery because my battery was dying, but yeah. So I was saying my 9th book is called Position of Power versus the Wrong. So in that book, I basically explain on how many people abuse of their position of power. Yes, there are so many people who are in the position of power, but they tend to abuse of them. They lie, they hurt people, they damage people's souls, they abuse of their position of power. You are the president, you only think about your family and yourself. You don't help people who have elected you. You abuse of your position of power. You are a stepfather, but you are sleeping with your wife's daughter. You abuse your position of power. You are a man. You're supposed to be the provider. You don't want to provide. You don't want to work. You abuse of your position of power. You have employees. You don't pay them. You treat them like trash, like slaves. You abuse your position of power. Many people have abused their position of power in so many ways. And on the other side, we have people who have been wronged. Yes, many people have been wronged that you don't even know about. When you insult people, you wrong them. When you break people's hearts, you wrong them. You took a girl's virginity, promising her or making her think and believe that you guys will live happily ever after. You never married that girl. She feels wronged. That's why whatever she says reaches your life. She can curse you, she can attack you because she feels wrong. Whenever you wrong someone, you become that person's slave. You need to read that book. I gave all the instances where people are wronged, where you wronged people without knowing, or you wronged them by knowing, and what to do. So be careful with what you do, what you say. Many people may just be wronged by you. And there's absolutely nothing sexy about that. There's nothing sexy about, having to wrong so many people. You're just gonna sit with a life full of consequences. So it is very, very interesting to see how many people have abused their position of power, how many people have been wronged. And yeah, grab that book. All right. Thank you, my love, for listening. It was such a pleasure to share with you my first 10 books, reviewing them for you, and inviting you to go on Amazon.com to visit my profile to purchase the book. And also, if you want a training on how to write a book, feel free to actually make a booking so we can sit, take you through the training, and also look at your manuscript and give you a review on how what you need to do, how to improve your content and stuff. So that's very interesting. I will talk to you on my next upload. Please like this video, subscribe. For those who will like this video, thank you for your like, your subscription, your comments, your support. I appreciate that, and I'll see you on my next upload. And please don't forget to drop questions if you do have them. Feel free. And yeah, I'll see you on my next upload. Bye, my love. Bye for now.